Deep linking in React Native using Expo CLI. Welcome everyone, this is Mehroz Yaqub with another video on React Native using Expo CLI. In my last tutorial, I explained you guys how we can generate URLs such like this using the share API of React Native. So after sharing the required data or content we want to share, what can we do with such links when user clicks on it through different media? It can be an email address, it can be WhatsApp or any other social media link. So if I click on this, you can see it actually routes me to my application and it shows me the desired result that I want to see. Now, this thing is possible in Expo. Let me show you the official documentation. So you can see this is the link over here, and currently it shows universal links in iOS. So when we say about deep links, we mean universal links for iOS and deep links for Android. So there are some configurations required that we need to do before jumping into our code. First, you need to make sure that you have put in the required configuration in the app.json file. So as you can see, this is my project's app.json file, and here, let me just zoom in. You can see in the iOS section over here, I have specified an associated domain and have provided the domain URL in the form of app links. So these are the links that will be supported. You only need to do only this sort of thing for iOS, but for Android you need to specify all the URLs in the Android section using the intent filters array. So this is basically an intent filter array, and each array item contains an object. Each object has an action, and next parameter is auto verify. Auto verify means that you are actually intended to use app links instead of deep links. So let me just give you a brief example of it. Whenever you open a deep link, you can see that there is a disambiguity dialog box which actually provides you a few options that you can use the link with. But if you don't want that disambiguity dialog to open, you can simply put auto verify with true parameter over here and do some configuration on your host URL or the server, your custom server that you want to use. Here I have used the scheme as HTTPS, and this is the URL of my server through which I can access as a host parameter. I have added a path prefix as well, just to use my link and open specific screen. But at the bottom you have to specify the category of your deep link. That could be browsable and default. These are the parameters that are provided by developers.android. So this is simply, these are the configuration that we are required to make in our app.json. Now let's see what are the configurations required that we need to make for iOS and Android on their respective stores. For iOS, you just need to make sure about one thing. In the identifiers of your developer.apple, you just need to make sure that you have tick marked this associated domain. That's it. Once you're done with this, you can now make sure that you are using an appropriate app association file onto your server. So now let me explain this to you. So using universal link, it requires actually you to have a file with the name of Apple App Site Association without extension in a folder known as .well-known. So now that was a convention, that was a legacy convention used early in version of the iOS, but Expo required this version. Expo needs this folder where your file is going to be replaced. Let me give you an example. As you can see over here, this is the URL of my server, and this is the folder where I have to place this Apple App Site Association file. When I download this file, when I click on it, it downloads me a file, and let me just open this file for you. Here you can see that this file contains an array of details. and each array contains an object, and inside that object you can see there's an app ID, which is something like this. This app ID here, you need to put in your team ID and followed by the package name that you're using. In the path section, you can simply put in a wildcard which specifies that it will work for each and every link that you're using or clicking upon. This is it. This is all the steps required to perform universal links for iOS. For Android, you need to do something similar like this. Here I have opened a sample assetlink.json file. Assetlink.json file is used when you want to implement app links instead of deep links. Now I have already explained the difference between deep links and app links. This thing here contains an object, and in there you can see that in namespace it says it's an Android app. You need to specify your package name, it can be anything over here, and then you need to specify the SHA-256 fingerprints from your certificate. Now once you are able to do that, you just need to compile that in a file with an extension .json, and name should be assetlink.json. Once you are able to do that, you need to put that file in .well-known folder and place it onto your server. Now once you're done with this, we have configured each and everything required for deep linking. Now it's time to move and jump into the coding section. Here you can see I have a method component.mount, and in that method I have used an API for linking which is provided by React Native. It has a method as getInitialURL, and it says if an app launch is triggered by an app link, it will give you that link, otherwise it will be null. So if I click upon my deep link URL, it will be detected by this getInitialURL and it will return a response in the URL. Now you have the URL over here and you can handle your deep link as you wish. So once you can handle this deep link, you can do anything you want. You can open any specific screen or you can show some message to the user. Now keep in mind, this thing is only going to work when your app is not in when your app is not in a killed state. So when your app is in background, you need to put this event listener. If your app is in background and you want your links to be open or your app to listen to the deep links, you need to specify this linking.addEventListener, and here you need to specify a method where you'll be handling your deep links. Keep in mind that when you add some event listener in component will unmount, you need to remove those event listeners as well. If you don't do that, you are going to get yourself into trouble by various bugs that will be appearing. So this is it. Once you are done with this, every configuration and things will work. And this is it, guys. You can check out this video and let me know about your feedback. Thanks.